All right, team. So here we are. So far from lessons 1 through 4, we've gone through the survey. We've gone through the site plan. We've talked about the building plan, how to read the building plan. We've discussed even to the point of footings and calculating concrete. So before we go into our next session on this, mentorship program, I want us to do a quiz. I want to recap everything we've done, and I'm going to share a quiz with you that I've created, and we're going to go over it next week on the live. Okay. I do want y'all to go through some of the videos so you can refresh yourself. If you need to at least find out what the, well, if you have any questions and you can't figure it out, go through our lessons and try your best. We will go over it together as a group, but try your best to figure everything out. I want to make sure that you understand what you've learned so far. And then at least what you don't understand, we can, work on that together. All right. So what I have here, I have I've actually put together a site plan from a house that I just built. Okay, it's a site plan, it's building plans. So I'm basically just giving you these plans, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions. These series of questions are based on what we've learned so far, and I expect that you'll be able to do it. So right now, if we look at this, I edited some of these pages to make it simple because the original plans are several pages. The site plan, the survey, all those things are all here. The building plans, I've only taken the portions that we need that will help us in doing our quiz. All right. So I'm going to show you the quiz that we have here. So the first thing that we have in the quiz we discussed is elevation. Okay. So in your quiz, you're gonna determine what is the street elevation, the street level elevation. What is the rear level elevation? If you're standing the street, what is is the property higher or lower towards the rear? Now, if we look at this, okay, if you recall, just as a refresher, you will see what this is the street level, okay? But there are some lines in here which tells you the elevation. You should be able to find out. And based on this, you can answer those series of questions. What is the elevation? Is it going? Is it sloping? If you're facing the street, if you're here on the street and you're looking at the property, is it going up or is it sloping down? Okay, very important. When we do our live, you'll understand. So, okay, that's part of the quiz right there. Then we get to the setbacks. I'm sure y'all should know this, but you will get to the setbacks. So you will go through the pages, and based on these, you'll be able to figure out the setbacks. It's on there. All right, we're going to discuss the setbacks. We're going to discuss the buildable area. Very interesting. We're going to talk about how wide is the lot, how long or how deep is the lot, right? How wide is the lot, how long or how deep is the lot. All right. We're going to discuss that. Based on the length and the width, how wide it is and how deep it is, and the setbacks. That's that's what I should have said. Based on how wide, based on our buildable area, how wide the lot is, how deep the lot is. Okay. The length and width of the lot. What is the maximum width and maximum length house that we can build? Give you a quick example. Okay. We know our buildable area is here. So what does that tell us? We got to figure out this number and this number to give us. And so you got to take into account your setbacks, okay, your front, left, rear setbacks, these numbers, all that stuff, and boom, you're going to figure out what's the Now, it's not to say that you're going to build a house that big. It's just to say how, what are your restrictions? How wide of a house can you build and how long or deep, you know, of a house can you build? And then, of course, everything that you can build will be less than that amount. Okay. But that's what you got to figure out there when I ask that question. All right. I talk about are there any trees impacted in our buildable area? Okay. Then we're going to get to the survey based on the legend on the survey plan. If I use a tape measure and I measure 3 inches, how many feet will that be? Okay. Now, you'll recall we talked about what the legend is, right? We talked about what the legend is. Okay. Give away too much. So here you go. Based on the legend on the survey plan, ooh, there's some little tricky stuff right here. Tricky stuff right here. We'll leave that for the lab, but y'all figure that out. What do you notice as existing on the survey? What's the main difference between a survey and a site plan? There's actually one thing that will separate a site plan from a survey, although there are other things that go along with a site plan. There's one thing that will make you look at something and say, "Oh, this is a survey or this is a site plan." Okay, what page reflect the survey? So once you know what a survey is, and once you know what a site plan is, you can now dictate or you can answer these questions. What page or what pages reflect the survey? Also, what page or pages reflect the site plan? Okay, then we talk about what items need to be removed from the site plan per survey. So you will go through here, you'll scroll through, you'll figure out what is what, okay, all that good stuff. What else we got? We're gonna go through all that. We're gonna discuss on the site plan. Okay, you're gonna tell me what page does the site plan start on? Now, you might be like, that's being redundant. Sort of. Because over here, I want you to tell me what pages reflect the site plan. So you might have the site plan and it may be 2 pages or 3 pages or 4 pages, but they are all site plans, right? Because of the content of what they have on it. But I still want to know what page does the site plan start on? All right, that's the question. How deep does the silt fence need to be below the ground level? How deep does the silt fence need to be below ground level? Now, this one, for the most part, is basically is code. Okay, it's code, but you can also find it in the detail. All right, you can find it in the detail. They say the devil's in the detail. All right, well, let's go find the devil then. That's the detail. Okay. All right, what page is the site plan? Okay, the cell phone needs to be below ground. How do we prepare our construction exit? What material do we use? Now, based on the lessons, you know what our construction exit is. But now, I want you to look at it because it's on the plan too. It's in the detail, but you should know this just from class. How do we prepare our construction exit? All right, what materials do we use? Just real basic. All right, basically two materials. All right, you should have that. Then we get busy. Now we get to the building plans. Now, on the first floor in the powder room, is that a right hand or left hand door? And I give you the page 8. So you're going over here to page 8, and you should get page 5, 6, 7. Nice, right? Look at that. Nice crib. Yeah, nice crib. 7, you're going to build that. 8, page 8. What do we have in page 8? So page 8, we have a question. Page 8 is our first floor. Okay. Page 8 is our first floor. And if you look at a plan, it tells you first floor, even further. It's going to tell you proposed first floor. Okay. So on your first floor, there is a powder room. It tells you right here, powder room. There's a door right here. There's a door right here. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So you need to tell me that door, whether it's a left hand door or a right hand door. I need to know so I can order the right door. Now, let me get stuck in my powder room now. All right. On page 11, we discussed one thing here. How wide and how deep is our footing in inches? Okay. How wide and how deep is our footing in inches? Let's go to page 11. See what we're talking about. So what's I talking about here? Page 11. All right. I've actually edited this because there was so much detail in this thing, so much stuff, more in depth than we've covered. So I just kept it simple. Okay. I need to know how many inches, how wide and how deep are we in inches. Okay. And then after you find your inches of the footings, how wide and how deep we are, then I'm going to have you convert the footings inches into feet. So you're going to know what your footing sizes are in inches. Now convert those inches into feet. There's a method to my madness here. Okay, so once you've converted the inches into feet, you're also going to tell me how many rebars do we need in the footing? How many rebar? And you got to go based on the plan. How many rebar do we need in the footings? It tells you something on the plan. You let me know what it is. How many rebars do we need in the footings? Okay. And then there's also grade beams on this. We discussed grade beams. So all I want to know is how wide are the grade beams? It tells you on the plan on page 12. Okay. So when you go to page 12, which is our final page, final page 12. You see, you should know what the footings are and you should know what your grade beams are. You've been through this. So knowing what your grade beams are, I kept it very simple, very basic. All right. How wide are the grade beams in inches on page 12? Now we're about to get busy. Now you're going to calculate the concrete. Using the formula we learned, you're going to calculate the following. How many feet total is the footings? What do you mean? All right. What I mean is you're going to take this. I've given you page 12, right? Which has measurements on it 19 feet, 9 inches, 13 feet, 11 inches. You know, man, we're going all the way across. What is it from here to here? It's about 33 feet. So basically, you're going to know your length, you're going to know your width, like you know your depth, right? Based on your footings that I had you convert, you know how deep it is, how wide it is. But now you're going to calculate all of this exterior and tell me the size in feet, okay, of your footing. So how many feet total? So now that I have you with your footing size and you've converted it to feet, and now you're gonna tell me how many feet your footings are. You already have the width, you have the height. Now you have the length of it. You're gonna take that, and based on the formula that we learned, you're gonna tell me, all right, how many yards do we need for the footings? I'm only asking for the footings. After you go through that whole task of figuring out the footings, now you're going to go to the next phase, which is we're going to talk about the slab, right? Because we have concrete for the footings and we're going to talk about the slab. How many square feet is our slab? Now, there's several ways to figure that out. You can calculate your the whole slab based on square feet. You can calculate this area, calculate this area, calculate this area. You can go on one of the pages and look in your detail and take what the measurements are in square feet that's given you. So I'm just throwing a few little cheats out there, but you can basically figure it out. Okay. Once you do that, then I need to know how many square feet is your slab. After you tell me how many square feet your slab is, well, I want to know how many inches the height is our slab supposed to be of concrete. Our slab is supposed to be a certain amount of inches. It tells you in the plans. You will figure that out. You tell me how many inches our slab. Once you find out how many inches our slab is, you're going to do the next thing, which is convert the slab inches to feet. Once again, method to my madness. You're going to convert it to feet. All right? Man, Al's giving me work. It's true. Because after you have all those numbers, now you should be able to figure out how many yards do we need for the slab only. How many yards do we need for the slab only? So once you figure out that, now you have your footings, now you have your slab. Now comes the final quiz. How many truckloads will we need to bring us the concrete? I put we for the footings. So a little typo here, I could fix it. I'm not. How many truckloads will we need to bring us the concrete for the footings and slab? All right. Now that's important. We need to know that. And that'll be the quiz, y'all. So go over everything. We'll figure everything out over the course of the week. We're going to get back next week and go over everything. Okay. So that will be it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I try to answer as best as possible. But so far, this is where we're going to be doing. This is what's due. All right.